I spoke to Oleksiy Goncharenko, the MP for Odessa, and he told me more about the attacks.
Russian is constantly attacking Odessa with the missiles, but this night there were explosions on gas production rigs, which are the property of Ukraine, but which were stolen by Russia during the occupation of Crimea in 2014. And now Russia is using these rigs to produce gas from Ukrainian seashell. And this night, Ukrainians attacked these rigs. First of all, because they were also used as the military objects by Russians for intelligence and also for their weaponry. But secondly, because these are objects which they use to steal our gas. And our attack was very successful. And after this, Russia started furious missile attacks against Odessa in a kind of revenge. Mostly their missiles were intercepted by Ukrainian air defense, anti-air defense, but not all. That is what's happening now. So this is a very important moment because after Ukraine sent down Russian flagmanship, then several days ago, Ukrainians sent down already with harpoons, with new weaponry, which we received from the West, Russian tugboat near Serpent Island. And now we are capable to attack objects more than 100 kilometers from the shore, which is very important and which is showing the situation in Black Sea is changing.
Well, that's very interesting because I was just going to ask you to reflect for us on President Zelensky saying the Russians are going to increase the pressure and intensify their attacks. I mean, it looks like the Ukrainians are doing the same.
Absolutely. There are two different theaters of two different battlefields now. One is the east, where the situation is very difficult. Russia has a very slow, but still they have some successes and gains. Not strategical, but tactical they have. And another is southern part of Ukraine, where I can say the opposite is happening, where Ukraine has successes. And one of them is that what I told you in the Black Sea. Others are near Kherson city, where Ukraine is pushing Russians, we're liberating some parts of occupied Ukrainian south. So we are quite successful there. Also, I can't say about strategical successes, but tactical successes we have in the south. So that is the difference, which is happening in two different theaters of war activity.
And moving away from the theatre of war to the arena of diplomacy, if you like, European foreign ministers meeting today to talk about how to free the tons of grain that are stuck in Ukraine. Odessa, of course, somewhere where that discussion is going to affect, because obviously the port, it's a port city, and a lot of the grain will probably go through there. Who is to blame for this block? Because beyond the blockade imposed by Russia, Ukraine itself has mined its ports to stop Russian amphibious landings.
It's clear whom to blame, those who started aggressive war. Black Sea was absolutely free for shipments till February 24 this year. And yes, after Russia started this war, after Russia also attacked a number of ships under international flags of different nations, a number of seamen also unfortunately died because of Russian attacks. Ukraine mined our sea shelf in order to protect the cities from landing operations. But Ukraine from the first day is saying we will be happy to demine and to have convoys from Odessa. Yes, Odessa is the main point to the world with Ukrainian grain. But we need guarantees that these corridors will not be used by Russians to attack our cities. And that is absolutely clear why. So we still are in the same position. We want to feed the world like we did for years and years. And we are ready to do it now. But we need guarantees that we will not be vulnerable for Russian attacks. You see that Russia is attacking Ukraine absolutely on the full scale. Everything they have, they use to attack our country. And definitely we don't want to put in danger our people which lives on the coast. But now what we need to do is the first decision is to have diplomatical decision with Russia under guarantees of, for example, nations from Security Council that these exports will be open. Or it can be military decision that Russian fleet could not attack anymore the convoys and could not attack anymore Ukrainian coast.
Right.
So that are two ways to open the Black Sea, and Ukraine is eager to do this because that is something we need for our economy, but the whole world needs to prevent starvation.
Well, absolutely. And staying on the diplomatic front, Ukraine, of course, as we know, got a diplomatic boost last week when the European Union decided to grant it candidate status. You're in Strasbourg, presumably, to further push the diplomacy around that green light for membership that Ukraine received.
Absolutely. Now there is a Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly session in Strasbourg. I'm member and vice president of Migration and Refugees Committee of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. And yes, my first aim here is to campaign for Ukraine to be granted this candidacy status for our country. And I am very optimistic about this. The decision will be made the end of this week. And secondly, by the way, also the topic of Black Sea is risen. Our group in the Parliamentary Assembly of European Conservatives, we raised the issue that we need current debates, special debates here about the situation, the blockade of Black Sea and the consequences of this. We were supported by the majority of colleagues from 46 countries. And this Thursday, these debates will be held. And I will be the main presenter of the situation here. So yes, I'm working extensively on all of these issues.
Well, we'll be watching that very avidly. Alexei Goncharenko, MP for Odessa,
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you very much indeed.